So Arteta's given us updates on the Saka and Martinelli injury, but there's also other points that are definitely worth talking about, and I'd actually like to get everyone else's opinions on some of the subjects that we touch on. But before we get into it, do me the favour of just giving me a thumbs up on this video if you enjoy this type of content. So let's get into it. So, Saka and Martinelli, will they be available? This is exactly what Arteta said. So, on team news, not much. We got some players back last Monday, and then we had Martinelli and Bukayo with little issues, but we are pretty positive that hopefully they can be a part of that, but we'll have to wait and see how they are tomorrow. So, if you're reading that, that is absolutely good news, because we saw how Martinelli hobbled off the football pitch, and I was thinking, wow, that's definitely bad. When I was looking at that injury and thinking, trying to put in my head a rough time frame of how long I expect him to be out, I was thinking until at least after the international break. I don't know what you guys thought. Let me know, but it looked like a serious one. And Martinelli's not the kind of player to go off easily, but positive news, and they'll have to be assessed before they're back in the squad tomorrow. But like I said, that reads to me like they are absolutely fine. So that is brilliant news to have them two back available. Now, obviously, if they're carrying something, you probably don't want to put too much pressure on them coming back for this game. And now we do have options on the bench. We know we have Trossard on the bench. We know we now have Gabriel Jesus available on the bench. And that leaves me with a question. Let me know your thoughts. But say if these two are carrying a slight knock, you know, it's probably best to leave them out. And if they do, what do you do with a striker position? Because Jesus is obviously Arsenal's main striker, but Havertz has been playing that role so well. So in my opinion, I leave Havertz, but then put Jesus on the wing. Now, whether Jesus will find that slightly frustrating, because he has been played as Arsenal's main striker for most of the season, when he is available, of course. But the fact that Havertz has come in and done so well, I want to gauge everyone else's opinion. Do you come in and put Jesus straight back at the top? Or do you play Havertz and let Jesus play on the wing? Let me know your thoughts. So a second piece of positive news, it actually comes in the terms of Brentford's players. It was widely reported that Mbeumo would be back for this game, but the Brentford coach in his press conference, Thomas Frank, confirmed that Mbeumo won't be available for this game, and he's expecting to have him back after the international break. Like I've said on this channel before, we never want to wish injuries on opposing teams, but when you have like one of their best players out, it definitely helps. Now, they do still have a dangerous attack. We've spoke about how good Tone is, but how good Mopai is as well. Very, very good players, definitely capable of causing Arsenal problems. And that's why I think it will affect the way that Arsenal are going to play in this game, because it probably has to. Like I said, Sheffield United was always going to be a team where we're pressed so high up, even in their half, because they don't really have an out. They don't really have an escape. But with Ivan Toney and Neil Mopai, they definitely have options to hurt Arsenal on the counter-attack. And that's exactly how Brentford will play. You know, at the best of times, even when Brentford are on fire, they don't come across to me like a team who wants to try and impose their own print onto a game. They don't mind sitting deep. They don't mind letting you have the ball, and then they catch you on the break. So that's exactly how Brentford are going to play tomorrow. They're not exactly a team where they expect to play with the most possession. You look at most of their games, and they're not a high possession team. You know, they like to hit teams on the counter-attack, and they are so good at that. So that's just something we definitely need to bear in mind for this game. So the next set of questions I found quite funny, because Mikel Arteta was asked, you know, about the game on Sunday between Man City and Liverpool, and he was very coy. He didn't really give an answer on who he wants to win. Now, I'm sure Mikel Arteta would like a draw in that game, but he didn't commit to giving an answer, and he was pressed a couple of times and asked who he would prefer. Is he rooting for any kind of team? And he just kept saying, listen, I'm going to sit back and watch it. And this is what he said. On the pressure of us moving into top spot and the pressure that would put on our rivals, he said, we know the demands that we have and the demands that Brentford are going to ask us to win the match and identify that. We are still not top of the league, and we want to be better than where we are at the moment. And the other two are, so we have to continue to win. And then he was asked about if he's secretly hoping if Man City and Liverpool draw. And he said, honestly, it's nothing to do with me. I'll sit down with my kids and enjoy the match. And I think this is interesting, because do you remember how many times Mikel Arteta was dragged into these kind of questions last season? You know, from very early on, you know, Arsenal early last season flew out of the blocks. We won 47 points from a possible 43. And all these questions kept coming up, and Mikel Arteta was happily answering all of them, saying how much, you know, we're in the title race, saying how much he hopes that Arsenal can keep winning and other teams drop points. But this time around, he seems like he's learned a lot from last season, and that's exactly what you want, because people are asking him, or the reporters are asking him questions, and he's not being drawn into it at all, because it was used as a stick to beat him with early in this season. A lot of people were saying, listen, Mikel Arteta was too invested last season. Mikel Arteta was too emotional, so now he's not giving anyone any fuel to put on the fire. And that's exactly how you need to be, in my opinion, because obviously we want Man City and Liverpool to draw this game. A lot of people are saying they hope Liverpool win this game because they think ultimately, Man City are the juggernaut. They're going to go on and win a lot more of their games, and Liverpool are probably more capable of dropping points, especially with their injuries. But yeah, I think they were probably sensible answers from Mikel Arteta. And the next question was about the impact that Kai Havertz is having. And he said it shows his character as well, and how he has to deal with all these question marks. The attitude he showed all the time when things were not good in certain phases of the game. But he continued to work hard, and that's why he's loved by everybody here. And then we can see his qualities and intelligence on the pitch and the contribution he's having to the team. So we're happy with them. And again, that just feeds into what I was saying earlier. He's very happy with Havertz. He saw something in Havertz that a lot of us didn't see. So many of us were shocked when he brought Havertz in. And I think Havertz did struggle early on in the season because Arsenal were playing with 3 midfielders still, but we was playing with 2 more attacking-minded midfielders, and that's not where this Arsenal team in general exceeds. We've seen a lot more recently, when you play 2 more holding players, not only does it allow Odegaard more free reign of that forward area, and he plays a lot more better when he has space in them forward areas, but it just makes Arsenal so much more solid in midfield when you have a Jorginho and a Declan Rice in there. Now, I'm hoping to see Thomas Partey in this game. I was shocked in the last video comment section to see how many people would actually leave out Partey in this next game and not feature him at all. I don't know if it's because of the absence that Thomas Partey's had, but I think a lot of people are not thinking that he's as important in this Premier League running and Champions League running as I do. I know there's other people out there that do want to see him in, but let me know your thoughts. Do you still expect Thomas Partey to have a big role in this title running and Champions League running? Because based on what people were saying in the last video comment section, like I said, a lot of people were saying that they're finished with Partey, we need to sell him ASAP. I understand based on the injury record, but if you can get him fit for the remaining games of the season, I still think he has so much to offer. So I found that interesting reading that. Let me know your thoughts on it. So yeah, that's kind of the main points that I took from Mikel Arteta's press conference. Like I said, let me know your thoughts on all the things we've heard in this video. What did you think of what Mikel Arteta was saying? Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. If you could, like I said, before you go, do me the favour of just giving this video a thumbs up. Just like it and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video on game day. Gooners, have a good day.